Hey guys, it's Kira and welcome to another Vlogmas. Today is Sunday the 12th of December, so we are officially halfway through Vlogmas, through Advent calendars, through the part of December that counts, because quite frankly anything after the 25th is just like a blur. So it feels like the month is like, you know, almost over. Like really it's not, but equally I feel like after you pass that halfway point, and for example in your advent calendars every day after this point there is less still to open than you have previously opened, it just feels like the month is flying by. So that's where we're at. It is Sunday morning and I'm about to open my advent calendars. So without further ado, we have our tea advent calendar from Bird and Blend, day numero 12. Where are we? Am I just not seeing it? Okay, there we go. It's always there, but you never know. Wow! Okay, that sounded so insincere, but I am genuinely very excited for this one. Banana bread chai, lightly toasted banana bread chai with a dollop of butter. That sounds delightful. If you don't know, I am a chai obsessed individual. I'm also a big fan of banana bread, so put those two things together in a cup of tea and I'm hoping we're onto a winner, because I love a chai latte like nothing else. So this sounds delightful. As well as the tea, I'm also about to open my jam calendar. And you may have noticed if you watched yesterday's vlog that I actually didn't open jam calendar rather, number 11, because I had a really busy day and I didn't have any time to make toast. So we have 2 jams to open today, starting with number 11 over here. Number 11 is rhubarb and strawberry. That sounds beautiful. Very, very tasty. And then number 12 is somewhere. Oh, I thought I saw 12, it was 21, but then 12 was right next to it. What the hell is that? I'm gonna have to Google this one because I don't even have a single guess what these could be. It says Mistil à la Melisse, and I do not know what that means. So Google Translate, help me out. Blueberries in molasses. I think I misspelled that first one. It's Myrtilles à la Melisse. So I'm guessing myrtilles must be blueberries and then à la Melisse is in molasses. So like sugary blueberries. That sounds yummy. Okay, so we've got strawberry and rhubarb, blueberries and molasses, and banana bread chai. This is going to be delightful. I'm going to go make all these things and be back with a taste test. As to why some of them have a pink lid and other ones the red and white one. So because like one thing that's different between these two is this one just says Bon Maman and this one says Confiture Bon Maman, but then some of the red ones also say confiture, so it's not as if that is the reason. Then there's another pink one that's a marmalade. So it is a mystery to say the least, but I love the pink lid a lot. But alas, onwards and upwards. We have our crumpets and we have our tea. I'm so excited for this tea because it smells amazing. It is like so cinnamony, but it's kind of got almost like a cake battery smell to it, which I personally think is really tasty. So without further ado, I'm gonna give this a try. It really does just bring cinnamon and banana to the front of the like flavor combination, and I love it. It's also not like a artificial banana-y flavor, like all of the flavor feels very authentic. Very nice indeed. Absolutely adore. I knew I was gonna love that one because I mean, how could I not? Next up, we have jams. I'm gonna start with the strawberry and rhubarb. That is like a strawberry jam, oh yeah, with like a really nice tang to it, because I think strawberry jam usually is just like full-on sweet, whereas rhubarb adds like a little bit of tartness to it, and you hit with the strawberry sweetness first and then it kind of goes a little bit sourer but in like a nice way, so I like that. And then we have blueberry and molasses. I don't think that tastes like blueberry. I feel like that tastes like an apple pie, but like really tasty. I'm a big fan of that. Like, I've had blueberry jams before and never really liked them that much, but that tastes so tasty. So big fan indeed. Got my tea, got my crumpets. It's Sunday morning and I'm living my best life. So on to plans for today. Now, if you watched yesterday's Vlogmas, you'll know that I didn't end up doing any reading on Sunday. So next on the agenda for reading is I'm hoping to start The Queen's Gambit today. I really do want to start this one. It's been on my TBR for so long, but equally, this is probably a bit of a like heavier, more serious book. So to lighten things up, I'm also planning to start reading The Merry Christmas Project, which is one that I picked up when I was shopping the other day. This one is just a Christmas romance along with all of the other ones I've been reading lately, and they both, like, I've really been enjoying them, but both of these books sound like they're going to be good for like completely different reasons, and I'm excited to read them both. So that is on the reading agenda. I'm actually about to head out to the bakery in a moment. We've got a local bakery near us called Stanley and Ramona, and they have some of the best vegan stuff I've ever had. Like, their vegan banana bread is incredible, but they've started doing for Christmas vegan Stollen buns. So they usually have cinnamon buns, but they've kind of like Christmasified them by making them Stollen flavour, and I've been wanting to get one all week, but they've been closed for a couple of days, so I've asked them to put one aside for me this morning, and I'm going to go and collect that. Jay and I are planning to go out on a bike ride, and then I think I'll be back to do some reading. So I've got quite a few things on the agenda this morning, but first things first, I need to finish my breakfast and then I'll be heading out, like I said. Slight change of plan for this morning. I ended up being a little bit not keen on the idea of going for a bike ride because it's very cold today. I'm quite tired and I just didn't fancy it. So instead we went into town, did a little bit of shopping, which was kind of like descending into the depths of hell. The fiery pits of hell is what the centre of York felt like today. It was horrific on so many different levels, and it was, I think, for both Jay and I, a massive regretful decision from the very second that we stepped into the centre of town. But we did it nonetheless, and then I came back ready to chill out, but I decided to do some work first and get on with editing the vlog that needs to go live tonight, so that once that was done, I could then relax completely, and that time has finally arrived. So it's been waiting for me since I picked it up from the bakery this morning, but I have my Stollen bun and I cannot wait to have this along with a cup of tea. And then, to make everything just that little bit more exciting, Zoe Sugg has uploaded a vlog. It's a meet my baby and decorating for Christmas vlog, which sounds like a lot of fun. So I'm gonna eat my bun, watch Zoe, get festive and just chill out. So that is the plan, and then I think I'll be doing some reading finally of The Queen's Gambit just after that. So I've spent the last like hour or so doing some reading of The Queen's Gambit, and I'm quite relieved to say that I'm enjoying it. The reason I'm relieved is because I obviously watched the TV adaptation on Netflix around this time last year actually, and I loved it, but I think what made the TV adaptation so incredible was the aesthetic and the way that it explored Beth's story visually, and I think it made what could have otherwise been quite a dry subject matter, a book focused on chess, into something really, really interesting and something that was exciting for people whether or not you have any interest in chess or not, which I absolutely do not. So I loved the way that the TV adaptation brought it to life, and I was kind of worried and definitely apprehensive to go into the novel, knowing that of course those visual elements weren't going to be there, and I was preparing myself to find the book to be quite a dry experience and potentially to even DNF it, because I just thought if I'm not going to enjoy it then I don't want to read it. But equally I wanted to give it a chance because the core of the movie adaptation and the TV show is of course the novel, so I wanted to give it a fair chance, but I was also very apprehensive to sort of see what it was like in written format. But those worries were completely unfounded because it is very, very interesting, and it's written in quite a like snappy, fast-paced way, which means that it doesn't feel dry at all. And actually it feels very, very similar to the TV show, which is probably not that unsurprising given that it is, you know, a TV adaptation of this very book. So the fact that they're similar shouldn't be that surprising, but like I say, I think the TV show does rely so much on visual elements and so much like imagery and bringing like the chessboard to life and things like that, that I really wasn't sure how it was going to work in the book, but turns out it's incredible. So yeah, it's very fast paced. It of course focuses more on like the inner workings of Beth's mind and her life experiences, and you know, it is lacking the visual element because it is a novel. So they are definitely different, but they're both equally interesting, and I think both explore what is a very intriguing life story in a very, very interesting way. Now, I'm talking about this book very familiarly because I obviously do know the story from having watched the TV adaptation, but for anyone that isn't aware of what happens in The Queen's Gambit, essentially we have a main character, Beth, who we're introduced to when she's probably about 8 years old, and she is taken to an orphanage because her mum passes away in a car accident. And so she is orphaned, she's left with no one else around, so she goes to this orphanage where they drug their like charges, I suppose they would be called. So like they give all of the kids tranquilizers to keep them mellow, and so Beth gets addicted to these tranquilizers, as do many of the other kids, and that is kind of like the very introduction to her story. She also then makes a bit of a friendship with the janitor at this orphanage, and he plays chess and introduces her to the game, and it turns out she is a bit of a chess prodigy and is really, really great at the game. So those are kind of like the two key things that we're introduced to right from the start, and then that kind of goes throughout Beth's entire life as she becomes more and more invested in chess and becomes an even better player, starts competing and basically taking on the world in terms of chess. So it sounds quite dry, like aside from the tranquilizers and the drug situation, it does sound like a dry book, and it sounded like a dry TV show. Like I really wasn't sure I was gonna like it, but something about it is just so interesting, and I don't know what it is, because whenever I try and explain this book out or the TV show to anyone, especially when I was recommending the TV show to people last year, I feel like it sounds really dull, but it's just not, and I'm glad to say that I'm finding that with the book as well. So that's a massive relief, because I was hoping to enjoy it as much as I enjoyed the TV show, but you just never know with these things, so that's a relief. I am currently only 4 chapters in, so you know, I've still got quite a bit left to go, but I'm excited to see how it pans out, and I'm definitely going to do some more reading this afternoon. But I think I'm going to go and get a shower, mostly just because we just had a delivery to the door, and that delivery included some new Christmas pajamas for me. So I got these from Next, and they have the most beautiful like watercolor tree and bear design on, so they're kind of like festive but not too in your face Christmassy, so that I can still wear them like all year round, but I want to be like nice and fresh and cozy. So I'm gonna go have a shower, wash my hair, then get in my cozy pajamas, and then do some more reading. So that is my plan for right now, and I'll catch up with you in a little bit. think it's fair to say I am obsessed with these new pyjamas. They're so comfy, so cozy. Next just has the best pyjamas, like always, and I always seem to get new pairs around Christmas time because it just feels like the right time of year for getting new cozy pyjamas. But yeah, these are so nice. They're like very soft, but also they're not too thick, so when you've got the heating on, you can wear them without feeling like you're gonna overheat. So pajama review done. On to tea review, because I just opened up the second advent calendar of the day, and it is of course the English tea shop one, and this evening's tea is peppermint candy, which sounds really tasty. So let's give it a try. It smells like a sweet mint tea, which is one that has come up a few times across both calendars in a few various flavour combinations. Like sweet mint has come up quite a lot, and it's always a winner. You just, like, I was about to say you can't beat a mint tea. Strictly speaking, that isn't true because it's not my favourite tea ever, but mint teas are just like those old reliables where you can always enjoy mint tea, and no matter where you are, you know it's going to be good. So that's a success. Unfortunately for the mint tea, it doesn't quite outshine the banana bread chai from this morning, but it is a very tasty one nonetheless. And on the subject of mint, I feel like Christmas time lends itself to mintiness because obviously candy canes are a key thing, but also after eights are very popular at Christmas time as well. But after eights, annoyingly, are not vegan, even though they're made with dark chocolate. They have buttermilk in. So I always get these ones from Tesco. They're just basically mint thins, and they're basically exactly like after eights but cheaper, and they're vegan, so it's a win-win, and I absolutely love these. So I'm probably going to have a couple of those with my cup of tea, and I'm also going to have a little treat that Jay got me, which is this Nomo vegan chocolate reindeer, which is a reindeer covered with chocolate, and it's filled with cookie dough. I had one the other day and I am obsessed. Like, I think Nomo just has some of the best vegan chocolates out there, and this is so good. So I definitely recommend trying if you haven't seen one already. I think Jay got this one from Sainsbury's, and it's, yeah, so good. So those are the snacks for the evening. Also on the agenda, me and Jay are in the middle of watching Love Actually. We ended up getting pizza this evening and watching Love Actually, which is kind of funny because so far this December I have only watched 2 Christmas films, but technically I've only watched one because both times it's been Love Actually, and I'm kind of here for it because it's just such a good one, and we're discussing as we go like which storylines are our favourites. I think my favourite would be the Emma Thompson, Alan Rickman one, or the one with Martin Freeman and Joanna Page, because I just think that one's quite funny. Have you decided your favourite, Jay?
I like Andrew Lincoln.
And Keira Knightley?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that is a good one as well. So if you have one from Love Actually that's your favourite to watch, or if there's one that you hate, then leave that in a comment down below. And finally, before we get back to watching Love Actually, a little bit of a reading update. I've done a slight bit more of reading of the Queen's Gambit, and I'm now on page 99, so I'm just under halfway through this book, and for a book that I was worried was going to be dry, it's actually a very quick read. It's only just over 200 pages total, and I'm hoping to be able to finish it tomorrow because I'm really enjoying it. I think it's so interesting to see how, like, Beth is working her way through the chess world, which is such a niche thing, but it deals with so many other topics, and also focuses on how she is treated differently as like a woman in the sport, and I just think it shines a light on lots of different interesting topics. She is an intriguing and very unique protagonist, and I just find it to be a very, like, I don't want to say fun because I don't think that's quite the right word, but like a very like intriguing, fast-paced novel that is very surprising given like what the overall synopsis is. I think it just takes you by surprise. Even if you know it's going to be good, it just ends up exceeding expectations. So that's where I'm at with this. I may do a tiny bit more reading this evening, but to be quite honest, I'm feeling tired already, so there's a chance I will not, but if not now, then I will be doing some more in the morning before starting work. it is a new dawn, it is a new day, and I am ready for a cup of tea to kickstart the week because it is of course Monday morning. I think, is today the 13th? Yeah, it's the 13th of December today, so let's find out what tea we're starting the week with. Number 13, all the way up here. Oh, wow. I genuinely wasn't sure if there was anything that was going to sound, just like from words alone, as delicious as yesterday's banana bread chai, because that sent shivers down my spine when I opened that one. But this salted caramel Lebkuchen, I bloody love Lebkuchen, and I have not been able to find any vegan ones for the last couple of years. Aldi used to have little dark chocolate vegan Lebkuchen hearts, and I think all the vegans got hold of them and then they're sold out every single year, but I just love it. And salted caramel on top of that, that sounds delightful. So the description is traditional German gingerbread dipped in decadent salted caramel. That sounds incredible, and some of the flavourings are Sri Lanka black tea, ginger, apple pieces, cinnamon, rosehip, cardamom, cloves, orange peel. Wow, that sounds amazing. I am so bloody excited. I also have already made my cup of tea. Am I okay? Already made my bowl of porridge because I'm absolutely famished this morning, so I'm starving, ready to get a cup of tea, and then it's pretty much straight into work. But once I've got my tea and we do our taste test, I also have a little reading update for you. This tea just smells incredible. Like, it has the most amazing smell of like, it reminds me of like a toasted marshmallow. Like, it's got a really like sweet caramelized note to it. And then it also has ginger and cinnamon coming through, so it smells super warming, and I can't wait. I kind of wish that this was a candle scent because it smells that good. But I'm going to let those delightful flavours steep for just a couple of minutes longer while we talk a little bit more about The Queen's Gambit, because I am so loving this book and it's such a surprise to me how much I'm enjoying it. I really do think this is just an incredible work of literature, and I think the fact that I'm reading it in retrospect, having watched the TV show first last year, I have an even greater appreciation for how good it is and also how good of an adaptation it was, and the two together are just amazing. I really do think they managed to create something that is so intriguing and so either like unputdownable in the sense of like the book, or just like bingeable in the sense of the TV show, and they managed to take something that is objectively quite boring and make it into something that is absolutely gripping and thrilling, and that is just so surprising and wonderful at the same time. So I really am just in love with this book. It's so incredible and may well even make its way onto my favourite books of the year list because I'm just finding it that intriguing. It's definitely part of like the subsect of books that I enjoy most, which I think I would describe as like slice of life style novels, where you just kind of get little snippets of someone's life here and there and find out about the important things that push them along to the person that they eventually develop into, and you're not sort of following them along like a really dramatic plot or anything like that. You're just seeing insights into them, into their relationships and their interactions and their experiences, and seeing how that builds them as a person, and that is exactly what happens in this book. And I just love it because books like that just feel so authentic to me, and they don't feel like orchestrated for the purpose of creating entertainment. They really do feel like you're reading about something real, which I personally love. So at the point we're at now, Beth has kind of transformed from a child chess prodigy into like an adult, or at least a young adult chess player, and we're seeing how all of her experiences, her family relationships, her friends, and all of those kinds of things are building her into a type of chess player that she wants to become and are kind of pushing her along to greatness. So we're seeing that evolution of her as a chess player, and that is really the core of the novel, which is so funny to say because that in and of itself sounds boring but somehow is really interesting in this context. But then we also have the added discussion of her addiction, which is one of the first things we learn about her in this novel. I'm pretty sure like the first line even mentions in the Methuen home in Mount Sterling, Kentucky, Beth was given a tranquilizer twice a day. So were all the other children, to even their dispositions. So right from the beginning of the novel, addiction, substance abuse, the misuse of prescription medication is a key part of this novel. And yet it is not the key focus of the book. And so addiction isn't dramatized or used for entertainment's value in this novel, I would say. It is explored in a really authentic way. And we see how it comes up more severely at certain points in Beth's life as she turns to these sort of substances for more and more help at certain points where she really feels she needs them, and then at other times they blend a bit further into the background and she's less reliant on them. And I just think it's a very authentic portrayal of prescription medication misuse, in the sense that it's not shown as this like really dramatic thing that completely takes over and ruins her life, and instead we see how it kind of like fits into her life in a long-term way, to the point where her own reliance on it is kind of like overlooked because it's such a like formative part of her existence and such a like regular occurrence in her life that I guess she doesn't even recognize it as a problem sometimes. So I think it's quite authentic and really interesting to see drug issues explored in that way, because I think typically when drugs sort of show up in novels or in TV shows, it's usually illegal drugs first of all, so it's kind of like a little bit more of a like crime situation in the way that it's portrayed in terms of entertainment, and then it's always kind of like the most dramatic things, and we see someone sort of like pushing themselves towards overdose and all of those types of things. And whilst those experiences are probably accurate to certain people and are like important to explore, I also think that there are lots and lots of other sort of drug misuses that are sort of not seen as being necessarily as entertaining to show in TV or film, so they just are kind of like ignored. Whereas I would imagine, I'm not like talking from any personal experience here, so I don't really know, but I would just imagine that prescription medication misuse is probably a lot more common than illegal drug use, because it's obviously a lot easier to get hold of prescription drugs. So I just think it's interesting how that's shown throughout this novel, but it isn't necessarily the main focus and it's not dramatized. It just kind of exists and shows the reality of the situation. So I'm finding that part really interesting. So that's where we're at with the Queen's Gambit. I think my tea will have steeped for long enough now, so let's give it a try. Amazing. Cinnamon just like dances on your tongue. I just love it. It's basically like a sweet cinnamon and ginger tea, which I, for one, am a big fan of. So I'm gonna go ahead and enjoy this, enjoy my porridge, which quite frankly has probably gotten cold now because I've been talking for so long, and then I'm going to go to work. That's what we're doing. We're going to work for the day. So I'll catch up with you later on, either on my lunch break or when I finish work, to carry on with the Queen's Gambit, because I am definitely planning to finish this one today. What a win. I really thought this book would take me longer, but it hasn't, and I'm very happy about it.
Feeling alone, kinda misty, waiting now for you to come. It's cold again, but I know we'll be warm, sitting by the fire and dream. Tell me again with a whisper, little things when they see you holding me so near. I see snowflakes on the chimneys, and the candles have a certain glow, a secret and a song, even church bells sing along, and the children making angels in the snow. Oh, what a gift to be given. How lucky can this soul heart be? And I fall into peace and silence on a very special Christmas Eve. Tell me again with a whisper, little things that I wanna hear, and the stars up above, they are shining with love, listening to this song playing on, listening to this song playing on.
I don't know quite what came over me, but I fancied doing some lunchtime baking today. So I've just spent the last like 20 minutes whipping up some biscuits. It's just a very, very simple biscuit recipe, basically just flour, sugar, vegan butter. And then I decided what better way to use my jams from the jam calendar than to make some little jam drop cookies. So not gonna lie, they don't look quite as pretty as I expected because I didn't anticipate how much they would spread out on the tin, so they've ended up kind of square because I had to kind of cut them out because they kind of joined all together. But I do think they're gonna be very, very tasty, and today's jam sounds right up my street. It is apricot and mango, which just sounds delightful. So I made them using a variety of the different jams. I think I used every jam except for the fig one because there wasn't enough spots for that. But yeah, very excited to try this. But before we try the biscuit, we of course need some tea. So let us do tea advent calendar for the day. Number 13, there we go. Oh, that sounds amazing! Wow. Gingerbread treat. So I'm going to go ahead and make this and then we'll come back and do a taste test. The tea advent calendars have been on such a roll the last couple of days. There have been some delightful flavour combinations, and this one just smells absolutely wonderful. We know I love ginger and gingerbread and all of those kinds of things. So just like this morning, I'm going to let the tea steep for just a little bit longer while we move on to the ever exciting taste test of my biscuits. So I'm going to do the top one, which is the apricot and mango, the jam from today, just to give that a little taste test. So I hope they've cooled down enough to the point where the jam won't burn my whole mouth off, but we'll find out. Oh my god. Wow. That is so tasty. Oh my god. I have outdone myself. The biscuits are so buttery and crumbly and just delightful. And the jam just balances out the sweetness of like the shortbread with a really nice like punchy fruit. I love that jam as well. I knew I was gonna because apricot and mango sounds amazing, but so glad that I decided to make these into biscuits, and I'm excited to retry all of the other jams that I've had so far in biscuit format because I think that's going to be really, really nice. Oh my god, what am I doing? I'm just so used to having a little nibble on something and reaching straight for my cup of tea that I forgot I haven't taste tested the tea yet, so try again. It just tastes like a really nice English breakfast tea, or like a black tea with just a hit of warmth from ginger. The perfect accompaniment to my biscuits. I'm very, very happy with this. Now, in terms of the biscuits, like I said, they were very, very simple. I will leave the recipe down below for anyone who wants to try them out. Obviously, I made them in quite a rush, so in terms of I didn't like space them out properly on the tray, and I also didn't weigh them out or like properly roll them and then put them onto a tray. I just balled them up with my hands and just did it in a rush. So I think you could definitely make them look neater, but in terms of actual flavour, they are delightful and I would definitely recommend. So I'll leave the recipe in the description box if anyone is interested for some vegan gem drop cookies. And then I'm going to go and enjoy this cup of tea. And I will catch up with you tonight for some reading. That's the word I'm looking for. My goodness, today went quickly, and I think that will probably be the case for the rest of this work week as well, because it is the last full week of work before Christmas. A lot of people at my work are actually finishing at the end of this week, and then for me, I'm working this week and then Monday of next week, and then I'm done for Christmas. So there's like lots to do, lots of loose ends to tie up and everything before the end of the year. So I feel like it's going to be a very busy week, lots of meetings, and before I know it, it'll all be over and it'll be Christmas, which is kind of wild. But Monday workday is over and I have finished reading The Queen's Gambit. I got straight onto this when I finished work and just flew through it. It's just so good, and I definitely want to rewatch The Queen's Gambit, the Netflix adaptation now, and just sort of like dive back in because I loved the book. I love the TV show, and I'm just very excited to get back into it. So this was an absolute roaring success. As you saw, I did give it 5 stars because I just think it was incredible, and I will never stop being blown away by how this book and the TV adaptation made a topic that I would consider to be very boring so intriguing and so captivating. So I absolutely loved it, and I just think the way that it ends, which is essentially Beth returning back to the roots of why she loves playing chess and realizing that success and titles and championships aren't necessarily everything when you lose sight of what you really love about the game. And I just think it was a really nice way to like round off the reading experience, and it was just really enjoyable. So would highly recommend it. If there's anyone else out there like me who loved watching the show but was worried that without the visual element the chess parts would be really boring, I would say give it a chance, because I found it to be really interesting. And while the like specifics of chess and the mechanics of the game definitely go over my head as they did in the TV show, that definitely didn't take away from the enjoyment of the book, the plot and the characters, and I would just so recommend reading this one. So that is another book ticked off in December. I'm having such a great reading month, and I don't know what to read next. Again, I need to go and consult with my shelves and figure out what book to pick up next. But as it is Monday evening, I will finish up this Vlogmas here, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow in what I think is Vlogmas number 8, but who knows at this point.